I'm Dan, and this is my 1970 MGB GT, sort of. It's probably the widest MGB in the world. Let me tell you a little bit about it. What I did was find a good deal on a GT, and then a donor car, a 1992 Mustang LX 5.0, because I wanted to build one last project that was a little bit ridiculous. So here it is. And yes, it's pretty wide. I wanted to use the Ford V8 because it's the narrowest V8 that you can buy. By using a donor car, I kept the costs down, and everything was included in a donor car. You have all of your wiring and every part that you can scavenge. It's so wide because of using the Mustang front suspension. Basically, the whole car is involved in this MG. So let's have a look at it. Only the finest video production. Okay, 5.0 HO, and the brake booster and master, the pedal assembly, the radiator, all of it bone stock for reliability, and you can buy parts anywhere. Front suspension has been lowered, obviously. The flares, you can't call them flares, I don't know, call them wide body. The whole car was inspired by Jason Shalder's Thor's hammer. And by the late 60s, 70s Group 5 cars. As you can see, I took cues from their fenders and radiator cooling ducts, etc. And the gills on the front. I thought it was a nice touch. Eat your heart out, Chip Foos. Okay, a little bit about the car. We'll keep going. I didn't like the wheels that I could get for 4-lug conversion, so converted everything to 5-lug. The wheels are Vision Torque 143s with gunmetal and machined lip. Let's see. On the fronts are 8.5 by 18 with 225/45 tire. On the rears are 9.5 by 18 with 245/45. And I picked the 18s because everything is so beefy that I wanted a wheel to match. It's all about flow when you do design. So make sure when you're designing your hot rod, your priceless gem, that you think about flow. Does it look like it's moving when it's parked? Okay, the sunroof. After making a template of the MG roof, then I went looking for a sunroof, an electric sunroof. Found one from a 2003 X-type Jaguar, almost the perfect contour to fit. I was really happy about that. The side view mirrors use what you've got. From a 2000, I believe, Suzuki GS500E motorcycle. They come out past the fenders so you have good visibility. The fenders were made from sheet metal with a 1/4-inch rod frame. So building the frame, tacking it on, and then taking the sheet metal, tacking the sheet metal on, and then folding it over the frame. Of course, tons of bodywork. Square exhaust, why not? Everybody does round side pipes. I thought that I wanted something a little more maybe steampunk, and originally the car was not going to be painted, but the bodywork was not quite, the sheet metal work, not quite what I wanted. Anyway, the paint. I wanted a satin charcoal paint, but staying in budget was difficult when you're buying car paint. So explored other avenues, and it wound up being Rust-Oleum aluminum paint, which is a little glossy. Mixed that with Rust-Oleum flat black paint and mixed it in quantities until I came up with the correct satin and charcoal. Not aluminum because it was just too bright. But I think it came out pretty good for a $100 paint job. Let's go to the back. I wanted a spoiler. I originally had a 2-plane wing on it, and that was too much. It's a GT car. It's meant for high-speed cruising. So added this spoiler to the back, wing if you like. Does it work? Who knows? Sometimes it's all about the look. As you can see, finding the badging was a little difficult, but I wound up getting kind of what I wanted. Chrome letters from a Chinese vendor, and then a custom-made B. And then this was a Ford GT350 insignia that now is a GT3. Of course, 5.0. Smoothed valance in the back, no bumpers anywhere. I wanted a more modern look. And then one continuous arc from the bottom of the taillights. Once again, the gills, fins, vanes, what have you, whatever you want to call it. Also, when you do your lights, you can wet sand your lights and use a clear satin or clear gloss polyurethane, and they come out great. All right, let's look at the interior. In the back, because of using the entire rear suspension sheet metal from the Mustang, it made it wider, and only the shock towers basically protrude into the cargo area. I made everything. All of the sheet metal. These fender wells were all English wheeled. I'm not great at it, but it seems to have come out pretty nice. It gave me a nice flat deck in the back, and by using the original Mustang gas tank, it gave me room to do this. So there's your spare tire well, and it fit just perfect with the small spare, and I can carry some tools, etc. That worked out really well. Really pleased with that. The battery is tucked in under this cover. It's the only place in the entire car that it would fit, so it's back inside of here. Nice touch is the little cargo light. That worked out well. And you just go into the junkyard and start looking around, and eventually you can find what will fit. So go for style, but convenience and cost as well. This entire project was supposed to be $3,000. I'll give you the numbers on that at the end. Also, The fuel pump assembly is easily accessible now. You don't have to drop the tank. I just, innovate. Do what you can do to make life easy if you're building an entire car. Gas cap. This whole assembly, sheet metal assembly here, was from a Dodge pickup truck, and then I bought the corresponding filler cap, filler assembly on eBay, I believe it was. Alright, quick look inside. Everything is pretty much original. The armrest hand grips, if you will, are from a Mazda B2000 pickup truck. Using the stock seats, they just have seat covers on them right now. The trans tunnel has been widened and lifted slightly to fit the automatic transmission because my left leg won't handle a clutch anymore. Built the AC assembly there. The coil inside of there is from a 2000 Chevy Metro, as is the handbrake. That worked out real well. Because the trans tunnel was widened, I couldn't use the OEM handbrake assembly. The Metro one worked out fantastic. The steering column from the Mustang has the cruise control controls on it, and yes, the cruise control does work. The gauge assembly is from a 94 Thunderbird. I had the original gauges. I converted them over to the little motors, gauge motors, if you will, from the Mustang. But then the TAC decided to break, and I said, heck with it. There were no backlights in the gauges anyway. They looked really cool, and they worked pretty good. But then I found the 94 Thunderbird gauge cluster, and it's backlit, everything, and it works great. The dash, this part of the dash is from a 77 MG, and then everything else, including the top, is all custom made. So I think it's pretty cool. It's coming together real nice. It's about 98% finished right now. And let's talk about some numbers. I got them here somewhere. Okay, at this point in time, as of August 1st, 21, there are 2,464.2 hours of labor in it. And now, the killer, $4,785.67 into the entire project. And that's everything, every dime spent. So the way I do a project, the way I calculate it, do the accounting for it, is if I never did the project, how much money would I have saved? So that means in fuel costs, in running around, etc., etc. So I think, as you can see, it came out pretty nice. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you want to see the build process on it, then let me know about that as well. Thanks for watching.